Hello, welcome to Matt Loves Eurovision. It's my Eurovision 2023 top 37 countdown. It's place number 30. It's Greece, Victor Vernicos, and What They Say. Please do click on the subscribe button, ring on the notification bell, and please like, share, and comment below. Also, you'll find a link in the description to the music video for this entry. So Greece have been riding a bit of a return to form recently with two top 10 results in a row in the grand final. And so they'll be hoping to kind of continue this sort of recent run of success with Victor Vernicos, who is at just 16. He is the youngest ever artist to represent Greece at Eurovision, and I think is probably the youngest artist overall of any country at this year's contest. So can this injection of youth lead Greece to another good result? Well, Greece selected Victor via internal selection, although there were internal panels of expert jury and general public that were part of the selection process. And this kind of panel selection seems to have led to some scandal. It still surrounds the selection process because one of the other artists that had submitted a song and had been shortlisted has basically cried foul play, and it's gone to the courts. Fortunately, that got all paused. I don't know whether it'll get taken back up again in due course, but it was paused, which basically enabled Victor and Greece to actually go to Eurovision, because there was a chance that Greece might have to withdraw if it had gone into a kind of a nasty sort of court battle. So fortunately, we do have Greece at the contest. Victor himself, although he is obviously very young, he's actually already got a number of released singles behind him, some of which he has penned himself as a singer-songwriter, and indeed What They Say he is the songwriter behind that as well. It's one of the very few kind of those mid-tempo male solo pop ballads this year. In previous years we've had more. This time we've only got a very small number of them. Now, to be frank, his voice is much deeper, much more mature than you might perhaps have expected. And overall, this is quite a serious song. There's no Greek flourishes or frivolity that we've had sometimes in the past. He does look a competent singer and performer. But he's not been at any of, I don't think he has anyway, been at any of the pre-parties so far, and I don't think they're planning to be at any of the pre-parties. But given that he's had several singles released, you'd expect there would be at least some experience there. The record company behind this is Panic Records, who have been behind many successful Greek and Cypriot entries. So there's kind of, there'll be a kind of experienced team behind him, I'm sure. Now, I've got to say, this wasn't a song that I felt very engaged on at the first listen. And to be honest, it's not really held or gained my interest much in the meantime either. I think the maturity of his voice and the seriousness of the song is impressive. But I'm just, at this stage, I'm just struggling to make much of a connection to it. It just feels a bit, well, dare I say it, bland. Maybe the live performance and the staging will change my view, but at the moment it looks like I'm not totally out of sync really with the general consensus about this song. It's not doing very well in the Eurovision scoreboard app, and also it only got, so all the OGA, all the fan clubs do their own voting, and that tends to favour certain countries and certain genres. But even so, you would have expected OGA Cyprus to have given this more than just 1 point. So obviously it finished 10th in their voting, so that was quite unusual. But despite this lack of buzz or enthusiasm, I think this actually may well qualify. It's in semi-final 2, which is the more open semi-final. I think live performance and staging may elevate this anyway. But really importantly, there is the Greek diaspora and the neighbourly voting that Greece will benefit from. there are quite a number of countries that that are in this semi-final that traditionally have given Greece quite a lot of televote points. So there are countries like Cyprus, very obviously, but also Armenia, Albania, Georgia, all have given Greece quite a lot of televotes in previous contests in the televote. Also, Victor is half Danish, and Denmark are in this semi-final as well. So I'd imagine there'll be some televote points coming from Denmark. And I think that there is probably enough there to push this through into the final. Once into the final, I can see this picking up jury points potentially. But I think a third top 10 finish is probably unlikely though. But what do you think? Do you think it will qualify? Do you think it will do well if it gets to the final? Please do, as always, let me know in the comments, and we'll see you next time.